Hey guys, Aesop's here from Champion NFT Gaming. Today I'm going to talk to you about what they won't want you to know when it comes to SLP. We've all seen the videos. SLP is going up to its all-time highs. It's going to 40 cents. SLP's dying. We've seen all kinds of FUD and hype. But what we haven't really seen is a couple key things that I hope to break into this video. The first thing is the circulating supply and market cap issues. So if we look here on CoinGecko, we have circulating supply about 3.1 billion, market cap about 130 million. If we go over here to CoinMarketCap, we see about the same thing when it comes to market cap and circulating supply. However, this is very inaccurate, as I found. If we come over here to the Ronin Chain Explorer, the total supply is actually 19.5 billion. So that's a huge difference. And for any of you who's wondering, the way that you can find this is you type in Ronin Explorer, you'd go to a page like this. What you do then is we'll click here on the Smooth Love Potion contract. You can also get this over here at this contract address. You can copy that. But when you click on that, you go to Smooth Love Potion and you'll be able to see, there you go. So this gives all the information when it comes to Smooth Love Potion. So this is how many people hold it, transactions. But the thing that we're worried about here is the 19.5 billion SLP in circulation. If we hop over to this spreadsheet, I just put a couple things together to help visualize this for everybody. Right now, with the actual total supply versus what they say the total supply is, you're talking a market cap of 130 million versus 800 million. There's about 6 times the SLP in circulation than what's seen on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. That is huge, okay? And I think the market somewhat is already pricing this in because some people know how to access this, but there's a lot of people that don't know how to actually see the contract information and see the total SLP in circulation. So that's the first thing that they don't want you to know. The second thing is the SLP burn to mint ratio. So what I did here is, you guys can all do this too. You come over to this website, Axie World. On Axie World, they have this chart that shows the SLP issuance. This shows a day by day of the burned versus minted SLP. So you can get an idea of how much SLP is added into the ecosystem versus how much is removed. And one thing that is interesting to know is they've been having some issues. So their last update was 11/25, and I'm recording this on 12/5. So it's a little bit outdated, but I took a 15-day range here. And what I did is I took the burn to mint ratio, and took an average. And the key thing here is that we're about 30%. So that means out of all the SLP minted every day, that's SLP being claimed from people's wallets, we're getting an average of 30% of that's being burned. That's not great. That means that the total supply of SLP keeps growing. We'll get into that more here in a little bit. But another thing to note is that based on our average burn, if we minted no more SLP, if we just stopped minting SLP and only kept burning it, which would never really happen, but in a hypothetical here, you could last over 300 days burning SLP, which is just insane. And let's say we tripled the growth, we made tons of new Axies just going through the roof, we could still go for 100 days, assuming we didn't mint any SLP. This means that I think we're finally at that threshold that Gihos was talking about of needing a lot of SLP to be able to sustain large growth. If we hop over here, the next thing that they really don't want you to know or talk about is probably the leading factor that's causing SLP to drop. And we've all heard about the burn to mint ratio, but here's something that I found fascinating. Is when we look at what I did basically here is I took the added to supply, so the minted minus the burn per day, and we took the average, then we did a percentage added daily to the total supply. So every day we're about adding just under 1% to the total supply. That might not sound like a lot, but over a month, so over this next month, by the end of December, we'll have 25% more SLP than we have today, which is huge. I mean, that means that the value per SLP is going to drop by a significant amount. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. I think there are some ways that they can definitely save SLP going forward, okay? The first thing that I would recommend for the Axie team is double the breeding cost. So what I did here is I just said, okay, let's double the amount that's being burned right now for breeding, and let's also add in these other mechanisms for breeding. And it's kind of alluded to this before, where you might have Axie burning. You would have some other things like when land gameplay comes out, there's going to be these other resources. Well, maybe to collect gold or whatever the different resources are, you're going to have to burn SLP to go on these little adventures to actually get the other resources. So there's a lot of other ways that they could add cosmetics. I mean, there's so many things they could do to burn SLP. So I'm saying, if we took a decent amount, basically what we have right now in burning in those other methods, and you put that together. So essentially what you're doing is tripling the SLP burn, all right? If we did that, then over the past 15 days, we'd only be averaging SLP growth of about 0.2%. So it's still going up, and on a monthly basis, it's 5.4%. But that's assuming that you have times like now. And if we hop back over here real quick to the SLP charts, it's not been a great 90 days, 30 days, 14 days since I've done the 15-day thing. It has not been great for SLP or the Axie ecosystem in general. So if we had a boom market, a growing market, we could actually see our burn numbers even higher compared to the mint numbers. And we've seen that before where it's been as high as 50%. But so this would mean in a bearish period, we would still be adding SLP. But in a bullish period, we'd be burning. And in a neutral period, we'd probably be about even when it comes to SLP. And I think that's really what they need to do to preserve the price of SLP. Is you pretty much come in here and you triple the amount that's being burned through doubling the breeding and implementing these other things that they're talking about with land gameplay, Axie burning, all that kind of features. So hopefully this provided some information for you guys about the total supply, about the mint to burn ratios, and also some context around how far off are we. Really we just have to triple, which is a lot to be fair, but if we can triple the burn SLP, the problem's solved. SLP could easily go back to a 10 or 15 cent price at that point. So anyways, if you guys got any value out of this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll catch you all in the next one.